Hello, hello, hello. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. All right, cool. We got Dustin here. You guys are gonna have to excuse my voice today. I'm still fighting a cold, so I may sound nasal and stuff, but cool. All right, so let's wait for people to check in. Is Zambo in here? All right, we got Gossamer. Cool. How can you hear me? Is my audio okay? There's gonna be a 3D printer noise in the background too, so. I poked. Yeah, I did. I poked everyone that was online. Okay, cool. So anyway, excuse me. We're gonna get started. Um, just a little quick impromptu stream today. It's been a while since I've been online. It's been a while since I've had a chance to make videos or even go live. Been doing a lot of housework and just you know playing with this hobby too. And sometimes I just don't feel like everything that I do is necessarily something I want to show. So yeah, so I think the idea is that I don't want to show you everything that I do just in case it's boring. But Gossamer actually willed me into streaming today. So all I'm doing today is playing with my Prusa i3, one of my clones. I have a very old, I would even call it a Mark Zero Prusa i3 that I recently kind of rebuilt from, not from scratch, but rebuilt it to upgrade the entire frame to aluminum, and did a couple pieces here and there just to get it working again. Actually added an induction sensor too, for z-axis homing and for z-axis and homing and bed leveling. But I was still using my old Greg's Wade extruder on that thing. I mean, this thing is probably 6 years old now, and the x-axis itself was kind of falling apart too, literally falling apart. I was picking at pieces when I was throwing it away. I know. Yeah, kind of what's left of it, but the ABS kind of crumbled. So yeah, so it's been a while. I've wanted to do this for a while. I got the other printer working pretty well. Had some issues with the ramps board that I still use on it, and I'm printing stuff right now actually on that one. So I figured I'd take, I have one working printer right now, so I want to try to get the other one set up as well. So what I'm doing is basically kind of already have this extruder built, the new extruder built. It's a 3mm extruder. I still use 3mm filament for some of my prints, and I use 1.75 on the new printer, on the other clone. So I like having the option of having both sizes. So I already pre-built this one. before the before the stream. I kind of already pre-built the x-axis as well, so we're pretty far along. Just in case you're wondering, I'm following the guide from Prusa Research. I'm following the Mark II's kit assembly, so I can kind of try to get the printer to look exactly like, or behave exactly like the Mark II's would. So that's still a while before that happens. I need to rebuild the x-axis and the y-axis. I got a Mark 52 bed as well, so I'm going to install that at some point. But it'll be a work in progress. So for today, not to hold anyone up anymore. We're gonna get basically started. I'm gonna try to get as far as I can building the x-axis and building the extruder. But really, we're here to chat. I see 8D Designs is in the chat. Hey man, long time no hear, long time no speak. 8D Designs is actually a buddy of mine. And he's got a great channel too on woodworking, and he's got some great projects. So check his channel out when you get a chance. And he's also gotten into 3D printing. And he's in ham radio. He's a lot. He and I are into a lot of similar hobbies. So very cool to see you online. Very cool to see you in the stream. And you're gonna hear that all night probably. But okay, so for the x-axis, I already have most of it built. I'm gonna put the T4, I guess, whatever, the lead screw in, and we'll need to get the motor mounted and the belt on. So cool. So what's going on with you guys? Just chat in the stream. Any projects? Any fun stuff going on? This one didn't come in straight. Let me see. Dustin's looking at lighting mods for his A8. What are you trying to do? LED strips, basically? Cool, that's pretty straight. It's still not as good as I want it to be. Wonder if it's just catching on the it's probably threading inside the PTG here. Yeah, I was thinking about putting some LED strips on my extruder probably at some point. Every time I take a photo of a print, or even when I'm trying to look underneath the extruder, these extruders with the old Greg's Wade, you had a lot more open area around the hot end, so you could see basically what was going on, or what the print head was doing. With these extruders, they're very close to, like, close to to the hot end tip, close to the same height. So they kind of shade or hide away a lot of the print area while you're while going on. So it's harder to kind of keep an eye on things, especially with the first layer and stuff. So it would be nice to have a LED strip or something to add a little more light for that. Okay, 8D Designs is doing a fox hunt for ham radio. If you guys don't know what that is, that's pretty cool. It's where a bunch of amateur radio operators get together, put a transmitter in. Someone puts a transmitter in a semi unknown location, and then basically you use your radio and direction finding skills to find out where the transmitter, where the signal is coming from, and locate the transmitter. So it's a pretty good, pretty pretty fun event, but it's also a good practice for for direction finding and stuff like that. Which is an important skill for mostly emergency services, I would think. But just in case, or in case you have a source of interference, if you're a ham operator, any source of interference, especially most of them come from stuff in your house. It's nice to be able to have some sort of direction finding equipment or knowledge of how to locate that. In my house, I mean, all the LED lights, and now with the solar panels up in the attic, I'm sure I haven't really fired up my radio in a while, but I'm pretty sure my signals are going to have gone to crap. So search and rescue, there you go, that's right, Coast Guard and all that. Okay, cool. Alright, so the lead screws are on. Let me see where I'm in this guide, because I haven't looked at it in a while. Actually, let's do one with overhead. Here we go. So I got the X carriage on assembling the motor. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip this step. Okay, so let me put this guy away. Well, gotta assemble the motor for the X-axis, and I already have the well, I have the old end stop attached with a zip tie. Okay, so on this side, yeah, the motor goes in this way with the cable pointing towards the end stop. Yep, okay, and then I need M318s, which I need a ruler for this stuff. I had a ruler. I don't know what I did with it. No. Use this one. I think 18. How wide is that axis? How wide is the x-axis on this? I think it's somewhere around 210, but the rods themselves are, let's see. Yeah, the longest ones. I'm not sure which. I'm not sure how wide this is. The rods themselves are pretty long, but the x-axis itself is 210, I believe, on the Prusa i3. Oh yeah, yeah. The noise you hear is my other clone, the newer one I just built. And Zombo and I have been chatting about this stuff because he's in the Discord. So by the way, if somebody can post a link to the Discord server for those watching that haven't been on the server yet, we have a pretty good server going with lots of different interests and lots of experts. You know, people like Zombo, who's an expert in 3D printing. So he and I have been chatting a lot lately with building the building new printers. But he's built like tons of them. But he's also playing with the new controller boards like the SKR 1.3 with the TMC 2130 drivers, and those things are nice and quiet. The ones you hear in the background are the 8825s, and they are not. They're very, very loud. Okay, that's a 10. I need an 18. That's a 20. Is it? Wait. What am I doing here? No. That's 14. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna get new ones. Alright. I don't think I had enough in here anyway. You what what drivers are you using in the Ender, and what drivers come with the Ender 3 Pro? So I mean, for one, I'm sure I have a lot of vibration because the power supply that I'm using is not the standard Prusa one, so I kind of have it zip tied to the frame. I'm using the power supply cover, but I'm just not using the I can't bolt it into the frame, so that makes it a little more challenging to or that makes that brings the vibration out a lot more. Okay, so motor down, motor in place. I'm sure I'm going to need to loosen this up again when I do the belts. Yeah, Zambo is our resident tester. He's bought pretty much every board or driver that's out there, I think, in the past week. So yes, Dustin. So these are PETG parts. Excuse me. The old ones were ABS, and I guess I could have printed these, like the X-axis and the you know the the parts that don't get near the hot end. You can print them in PLA, but excuse me again. I do have I do prefer PETG. It's PLA can crack and is a little bit more rigid. PETG is a little more flexible, I guess, or still sturdy and kind of has the same characteristics, I think, of ABS, of being well, definitely temperature um, tolerant and just as strong as ABS, but not as rigid as PLA. So okay, the pulley is actually kind of already aligned. So looking at this, I'm already at that point where the pulley's good. And what's next? Assembling the end stop. Okay, cool. We're right there. And I need to have the switch be right there. Okay, so now I need two M212s, which I also have here. Somewhere here. If it looks like I'm not prepared, it's because I'm not. Because this was a completely impromptu stream, so you're gonna see a lot of me looking for parts and tools. So cool. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm looking forward to is getting the full use of my build plate with this new this new X-axis and the new extruder, because the Greg's Wade is a very wide. I mean, it's an old design. It's a very old extruder, but it's also it takes up a lot of space on the X-axis. So I wasn't able to to use most of it. And this is not the right size. This is. So, besides the fact that my X-axis completely broke apart, now I get to actually use the full, all of it. Oh, this sucks. These M2 screws are kind of stripping, and I don't have it fully threaded yet in the PTG. I'm going to use this one as a use that one as a donor screw to basically create the thread. Boo. That sucks. Let's use a different one. how long did what last for? Oh, the old X-axis. So, I mean, the printer itself is 6 years old. The ABS that was used to print it was, just as old. Um, because I used to have, I had a different one, and then I printed like replacement parts, and I used those replacement parts, but they were pretty old. And I had the Greg's Wade, like the gear that you saw, the yellow gear is definitely original. The orange parts are something I print, are parts that I printed. So they're up there. They're in the 5-6 year range. But it worked for the most part before it started breaking apart. And I got a lot of Z-axis artifacts in the prints. Just banding and stuff like that. So and just skip layers really. So yeah, so it lasted for a while, but it was definitely time for it to go. Okay, so now that's pretty well threaded. The Ender's using 2208s. Okay, that's right. I think I heard Zambo say that before too. So he did those. He used the 2208s with the 1.1 board, the SKR 1.1 board. Um, but he had some issues with it. He had some issues with those drivers and that board in general, I think. So um, I think it's he switched to 2130s. Does the Pro have switchless and stuff? I'm not sure. 8D, I think you own the Pro. Alright, let me try to get this thing back on here. And yeah, that's right. You need the 2130 drivers, TMC 2130s for the switchless bump. Yeah, the switchless end stops, which is Prusa, the original Prusa Mark III does. Which I've kind of thought about. When I started building my second clone, I was, the Prusa Mark IIS was the latest and greatest, and then they came out with the Mark III, and I've always thought about building a Mark III clone too, but I don't know. I mean, the 2130s are nice, and you can probably get that same functionality. What's also nice about the Mark III is the full, fully aluminum extruder base. So like you don't have threaded rods anymore, which makes the Y-axis a lot more sturdy. Which is also one of the reasons I don't want to mess with the Y-axis right now on this printer. The one I built, has been pretty much, the way it's been, since I built that printer. So, okay, cool. We got good end stop, and let's see. Yep, cool. And what's next? End stop check, end stop passes, cable management. Use a zip tie to, well, okay, I already did. And I already wrapped the cable, so I'm done as far as this goes, I think, right? And then there was, what's the next step? Let's see. This is the x-axis. Okay, we'll do the extruder assembly next because that's one thing that I need to finish, and then we'll finish the x-axis belts. I guess I'm not sure why that's not done in the x-axis step. We'll do that later though. I gotta finish the extruder anyway. Okay, so on this guy, I already have this thing pretty much built up. Idlers in. This fan. Alright, so this fan is in here, and I need to route the cables for it still, and the probe as well. So, as you can see, I'm not using the original Pinda probe. I have this one, which is just fine. I run it off of 12 volts, and it works really great. So, I'm going to keep using this one. Cable management is for way after you have printed many prints. Yes. I'm trying to do it the right way here, Dustin. Come on. Try and do this thing right. You've seen my printer, I think. You know, not great. This one. All right, so. Yeah, they want me to route the cables through. Okay, that's fine. So I need to solder on some more cable for this, some more wires for more wire for this guy, for the fan. Where's Zombo anyway? I mean, I haven't seen him in chat yet. It needs a Beal touch. I don't know if you can mount a Beal touch on this guy. And I don't know if I mean, you know, this one works. The inductive one works so well for me, like it's repeatable. I just don't see a need for a Beal touch in my case at least. But yeah. Cool. So, hey man, AT, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you again. Good, nice chatting with you. We'll have fun tomorrow. All right, what we got? This guy's passed through. Tightening with M3x10s. Okay, so I have some M3x10s here. That might be a 12. Yeah, it's 12. Got this little stash of screws that I've pulled out of the various printers. I'm just collecting them. Alright, so we got an M310 here, so I've seen another one of these. Hopefully I have one here. No, I have the whole bag of them. What's the 12 mean? Alright, so I only have one M310 here. This extruder might fit your unit. If you use the same carriage, I guess. I'm not sure if the Prusa extruder is compatible with any other printer. Oh, there you go. This is my bag of M310s. Cool. Yeah, I like this extruder. It's easier to work on than the Greg's Wedge, I think, in certain ways. But like I said before, it's a little more enclosed and you know, covers a lot more viewing area. And also this one thing I will mention is this is not the stock Prusa extruder. Like the STL file that I used for this print is not the stock Prusa i3 Mark IIs file, because I am not using the original. They use the Bondtech extruder gears, and I don't have those. I got the Mark 8s, or they're called Mark 8 extruder pulleys. So I had to find, and I found one on Thingiverse. There's basically a guy that made this STL. I'm not sure what his name is right now, but I can link to it if you guys are building one of these clones. The ANET A is a clone of Prusa i3. The bars look really close. Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, definitely. I mean, if anything, if the x-axis rods are at the same distance apart, you should be able to use the well, I mean, you would be able to use that x-axis, you know, the, what am I thinking of? The thing that the extruder mounts to, the, well, that piece, right? And then you mount the extruder to it. So, Rob Nisters, you read somewhere that the Pinda probe has a bad temperature drift, and that's why there is a temperature sensor inside. So the new ones, the V2s definitely come with 4 wires, and they have a thermistor wire. That, you know, we can't use that with any of our boards. I think you need that special INZ Rambo or whatever the board they use for the Mark III. But the Mark IIIs and Mark III come with the V2 version of that probe. This probe right here, this is something I got from Amazon. It's an NPN induction probe, and this one works just fine. Temperature or you know, or not, like there's no drift. And I do my bed leveling. I do my bed leveling with the bed heated and the extruder heated as well. So, you know, I avoid any drift, because basically, you know, whatever level it found at the during the bed leveling, that's the level it's going to be at during printing. So I don't think I have. I mean, I haven't found any issues with that. Okay, so now I have all these wires, and Now I need to extend the wires for this guy, for the printer, for the print fan. And I was looking for wires earlier before we started. Actually, I guess I could use a solid wire. I don't know if I want to use solid wire. Nah. Got these things for the LEDs. Slightly different gauge, but whatever, that'll work. So. Rob Einzy board, yeah, that's the Einzy. Isn't Einzy what they use in the Mark III? There's the Rambo, which is the Mark II board, and then the Einzy is the I thought it was the Einzy Rambo. That's a Mark III, like a special version of it, and it has a 2130 stepper drivers already built into the board. I think it has like a port where you just plug in the you can plug in the Raspberry Pi Zero and basically load Octopi directly onto that. So it's nice. You know, it's definitely a nice board. They're very expensive though. So I'm still using ramps on the one printer. On this printer, I'm using the original ramps that I bought like 6 years ago, back when ramps were the ramps were expensive boards back then. They were I hate to say it, but like the board I bought back then, it was part of a kit, but it was like the kit, with end stops and a couple other things. The kit cost like $180, and yeah, they've gotten a lot cheaper since then. You can buy a ramps board for like $7 now, but they're not great quality, and that's the reason they're cheaper now. Okay, a little more than that. Probably get a cable wire stripper for this, but whatever. Um, this guy as well. Okay, there we go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm building an extension to the part fan, because the wires that came with it were too short. So I'm just gonna build that, do a little bit of cable management, and then I guess the next step will be putting the extruder back on the x-axis and doing the belts. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to that tonight. Still probably have like another hour left on that print, so I guess as long as that print keeps going, I'll keep the live stream going. Or while you guys are still watching and not bored at watching me fail to open a Ziploc bag, because that's exactly what's going on right now. Ooh. What'd you find, Rob? You try and post the link? Because I don't know if YouTube allows that, or I don't know if I can change the settings for that. But if you find one, if you find something like that, post it in the Discord server. I made a separate channel for live streams, so definitely good to keep stuff like that. Or well, post in the 3D printing channel, which need to post a link to the Discord, because I guess I can do that, right? Okay. Cool. Alright, so I've just posted a link to the Discord server. So anyone that's not on the server, definitely join. We have a lot of fun chatting about all kinds of different stuff, and you know, definitely lots of great people on the server who know a little bit about everything. So I enjoy our chats. Yeah, so your link didn't show up, Rob. I think if you post the link in the stream chat, it didn't show up. Let me see if I can quickly change that. Or if there's anything that I saw here. No, doesn't look like it. I'll have to play around with it. I am still a YouTube noob, or definitely a live streaming noob. I'm nowhere near the expertise level of Dr. Z's or Digiblur or someone like that. So, solder. There you go. I need a third hand here. Cool. All right, so let's check out what Rob was showing us. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Cool. Complete DIY Prusa i3 Mark III bear upgrade. Okay, I did hear about this one. The bear upgrade is nice. I like that it's full extruded aluminum. Still have the okay, so you still have just the linear rods for the y-axis. And I see the Mark 52 bed, so that's complete. 274 to 327, I guess type 1 or type 2. Okay, it's not bad. I mean, the for all that with the board, there you go. That's the real that's that board I was thinking of, Heinze. Yeah, that's half the price of a Mark III that you get from Prusa, and then I think shipping is a lot more too. So cool. It's something to look at. I know when I was building my original printer, I think all the parts came to, back 6 years ago, all the parts came out to like $700. So like when Prusa started selling their printers for $700, kits and stuff like that is, pretty, they're not price gouging at all. Like those guys, I mean, they're quality printers, and they open sourced their design, so you expect them to want to make some profit on that, but it doesn't seem like they're making a lot. But you definitely pay for the quality with the Prusa stuff. All right, so that means at the other end, I guess I'll figure out when I get around to connecting it, because I'm sure I'm going to need to snip some of these wires off. They're probably too long. Okay, where were we? We got the hot end fan mounted already, because I did that before. Stepper motors are all wired. Okay, so M340, spin it fully. Okay, cool. Alright, so I guess this needs the x-axis to already be built. How is that? I'm doing this out of order, I know. But, okay, well, this is pretty much... Oh, that's right, because you need to fish all the wires through the axis before you build up the cable management on this stuff. Okay, so I guess I'll need to go back and do the belts on the x-axis now. Like I said, I have no plan at all for this. I'm just streaming because you guys asked for it, so cool. You get what you pay for. Let's see. Alright. Need to figure out where that gets built. Extruder assembly. That's not it. Z-axis assembly. You're right. Okay. So guess I could probably just build it in. Rod length, C rods. Okay. You know what? I'll bring the printer over here if I can fit it on the desk. This might be challenging, because I guess I need to build it into the printer already. So give me a second. Alright, here she is. And that's way in the picture. Way not the frame I'm looking for. Let's see, I need to transition you guys out of this for a second, and I need to fix my overhead cam a little bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, that should be fine. Um, get to see a little bit of my mess here on my desk, but sorry about that. Alright, so this is what the printer looks like right now. Yeah, no cable management here whatsoever. I don't even have an enclosure for the controller board yet mounted, and I think I'm gonna skip that step for now because I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the controller board. I have two boards. Well, I have the SKR 1.3 that Zombo has been playing around with, and the 2130s. I might put them on this printer eventually. But I also have a rearm board, which I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It's pretty new, and it's got a 32-bit processor basically, but it mounts in place of the Mega 2560. So you just take the ramps board off, take the Mega out, and swap and put the ramps on this rearm board, and you have a 32-bit printer basically using the old wiring and old ramps board. So I ordered one from AliExpress, and we'll see when it shows up. I might give that one a try. But okay, so guess we're here at this step. So let me transition to this view. And okay, so I need to find, all right, rod lengths. I have new rods, so I'm gonna put those on here. Okay, so shorter rods, 320 millimeters. Get inserted into Z-axis. Here, should have fit in here. Okay, cool. Carefully slide the X-axis on the rods and trapezoid screws. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's right. Ow. So these first. Let's move rods first. Just to make sure that they're even, because they will push the bearings out of the linear bearings. They will push the little balls out of the linear bearings if you don't put them in at a perfectly straight angle. Okay, and then we need to catch these screws in. Yep. Cool. I did okay. I'm not sure why it's not perfectly aligned yet. It's a little hard to turn still. Well, so when I first built this printer, I was using an M5 M5 threaded rods, and those things were a pain. Those things were complete. You know, they were bendy and they were not very precise, even though they were M5s. And I just remember like putting those rods on and putting those that x-axis. When the axis when the x-axis was going onto those rods, it was taking forever. Okay, and then Rambo. Well, Rambo. Yeah, Sam would probably have my head here for not measuring out the level on the x-axis, but okay. For now, I just put this thing on, and we'll do the belts, and actually we'll build the z-axis, I guess, first. All right, that's what it's gonna ask for. Z-axis top parts. Okay, so cool. Rob, I heard that you have to have PI on both sides of the magnetic flex plate in order to protect the heated bed. But I don't understand. How can a bare flat sheet of spring steel damage the you know what? I don't know. Um, I know on my other clone, I'm only using the PI sheet on one side of the spring sheet. But now that you mention that, I guess the bed itself, is a PCB, right? So the heater, um, the heater coil is basically a copper track laid on the bed, protected just by paint or just whatever basically protected from you know from shorting out by that paint or whatever they put on there, or epoxy, I guess, or whatever. So if the steel plate, I guess, makes scratches up against it and uncovers the track, it could short it out. I don't know. It's a good thing to think about, I guess. I haven't really given that any thought until you mentioned it. So okay, so I need to get the Z parts. Cool. All right. Lots of shrinking this still. And I need to clean these out a little bit to make them fit the thread rod or the smooth rod. Okay. one's a little bit dirty. I have a file here somewhere. There we go. It's a square file though. File that down a little bit. There's no aluminum between flex plate and PCB. Let me see. Hold on, because I have a Mark 52 bed that I haven't put on here yet. So, I'm not gonna put this on tonight, but we'll take a look at that theory. So, I have the spring steel sheet that snaps onto the bed, and I haven't put the PI on here yet. So you see, both of the, both sides are empty right now. But the bed itself, which is a clone, by the way, this is a clone of the Mark 52 bed. It's not the real one. This is the top side, right? This is the bottom with the magnets. Okay, the camera is not. It's not in the field of view right now. But so this is the magnets for the spring steel bed, and there's no. This is the aluminum part, I guess. This is the or not the substrate, whatever the PCB material or whatever this is made out of. And then this side is the heater side, which is what comes in direct contact with the spring steel sheet, right? And I don't know if you can tell from here, but there's definitely a the copper track is on this side underneath the the solder mask and the silk screen. So this is kind of like a PCB, right? And on the PCB you have your, this. I mean, this is a PCB, right? But on the PCB you have your pads. These are the pads where the heat bed connects to, and right from those pads, it just the copper just basically allows the electricity to go through, and in this case it's thin enough where it generates heat. So that's how the bed works. So if you scratch this somehow, or if the bed, if the spring steel ends up scratching it, scratching the PCB, if it scratches it across the if it touches across some copper tracks on this bed, it will basically short out that section of the bed. So if you electricity will go through here, jump over to this side, and this entire portion of the bed would probably be cold at that point. So I guess I do see a point of putting PI on both sides of the spring steel sheet. So yeah. That said, I only have one on one side. So yeah, definitely good thing you brought that up, because I had never thought of that. And I haven't really had a chance to play with these beds yet, because I'm still using my Mark II bed on this clone, and I'm using a Mark 42 with a spring steel bed, pretty much only laid flat on top, not even using magnets. So okay, that was cool. I like these little diversions. the other day I was talking to Raheem on the on Discord how you know, like with all of these hobbies and all of our conversations and tasks, we, you know, like I found this thing online. Basically, I saw this post on Reddit where people were saying, you know, software developers call it yak shaving, where you set out to do one thing and then you kind of do things, you know, you do one thing and then like you need something else to get done before you can do that thing, and then you need something else to get done before you can do that thing, and before you know it you're like 4 or 5 levels deep, and you don't know where you started or what you set out to do in the first place. So I'm kind of like that with my hobbies. I think a lot of times I'll start a project and then um, you know, I'll need to do something else, or like I'll need to learn something to get it done, and then I'll go and learn something and then move on to other projects and not realize how I started in that direction in the first place. So it's kind of how hobbies work for me, I guess. All right. So anyway, we're at that point where I need to get this thing on here. All right. And the other side. I want to snap my part. Hey. All right, got it on there. Also, want to make sure that's straight so it doesn't bind the z-axis in any way. Okay, cool. Somehow this z-axis, this thread bar didn't go all the way into the bottom piece, but I think it's still straight, so that's not a big deal. Alright, and then now I just need to slide these through. Okay. Way too long. That's not what I was looking for. M312. Yep, cool. So I don't have threaded I don't have threads in the chassis, so I need to use nylocks on the other side, basically. Okay. Okay, I need to grab a pair of, there we go. These will do. As I was saying, these are now PETG parts, and they are a lot more forgiving, I think, to you know, to what ABS parts used to be. I feel like all the, you know, just me trying to like snap those things on would have probably snapped the ABS parts in half. I've done that before. Cool. So who we have online right now as far as like where you guys from? Because I know Gossamer, I think you're from the mountain time, right? Mountain coast. Mountain coast. Mountain time zone. If I remember correctly. Just interested if see if there's any other East Coasters here right now. Taking my time with this, I know, but just want to make sure that I don't have to redo this at some point in the future. Excuse me. You know what? Listen, I've a whole list of honeydew stuff I've been doing in the past few weeks, so I feel your pain. But here we go. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. I could probably hook this thing up and run the Z-axis up and down, but we'll wait until I'm a little more further along so I can do the X-axis too. Okay, so yep, that's good. Cable management we're not gonna worry about. We've done that. Let me see. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Okay. Not doing cable management, assembling the Y-axis. I already did that. Basically, assembling the X-axis belt, part 1. Woo-hoo. All right. All right. So this is the part that's gonna get a little tricky. Turn the printer around. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to show you, basically. Because I need to look at this X-axis from the back while I'm putting the belt on. First I need to cut the belt. So I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm just going to cut off a piece and then I can use that. Right there. I think how this one's okay. This one's from the top, so. This much runs through, runs back. Cool. All right, so this is the fun part. I don't normally, I don't have a proper tool to like cut this belt with, so I just end up mangling it with diagonal cutters. I don't know. Does anybody else know what a better way to cut these things is? These needle nose. Hopefully, they might have a stronger slot here. Cut with blade, I guess. And they don't. Just a painful process. Even more painful when you're just trying to cut off a little piece at the end there. Which I guess if I knew the length of this belt, I could probably just cut it to the right length from the start. It's getting there. It's definitely a strong belt, which is a good thing. It's steel reinforced. So I know that when I put this belt on my other clone, it's solid. I was able to get the perfect tension on it. I don't see any, I don't see too much of any belt ringing, which is one of the things that you could see like usually on people's prints, where if the belt is too loose, you'll see like little artifacts down the x-axis or the y-axis, depending on which one is not tight enough. Or if it's really not tight enough, you'll just see the lengths of the parts or steps will skip. So, all right, that was a successful cut. So, yeah, okay, so let's see if I can flip this thing around and still show you guys what I'm doing. Not great, but maybe a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to go through the other side of the x-axis here and just snap this side of the belt into place. Cool. Okay, so that's in very nicely. Alright, so yeah, okay, I'm going the right way. Just trying to make sure that I follow this path the right way. We're seeing about that is definitely lighter and cheaper than using aluminum. I have a Creality CR10. Heater only covers 37. Yeah, those Mark 42s and Mark 52s. Those beds got really nice. I mean, the Mark II this bed right here, the old bed is on this printer is still one of the older ones that don't cover the whole bed. So yeah, things have definitely improved since then. I'm kind of doing this blindly here, so hopefully I got it around the pulley, and cool. I think I did. I think I just started to snap on it. Perfect. Yep, let's feel it turning. Alright, but now for this next step, I'm going to need to loosen the belt motor. So, alright, well, basically what I'm going to do is loosen the belt motor, twist it inwards a little bit. That's going to give me a little more play on the belt here. Then I'll put it around this side of the idler, that's the word I was looking for earlier. I don't know. Is it? Maybe not. No, it's not the idler. That's the idler. Yeah, so basically I'll put it around this side and snap it in place, and then I'll cut off the excess of the belt. I'll twist the motor again, and that will tighten the belt, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully the belt's tight and properly tightened, and we're good to go on this side. So that's what I'm going to do next. I just need to do that while looking at it, so you guys may not get the great. So you got a main silicone heater and a 5mm thick cast aluminum tooling plate with 70 back $100. Wow. Yeah. All sorts to do with white steel reinforced belts. Yeah, these are nice. These are actually cheaper than the GT2 belts, like the black GT2 belts that I ordered previously. So definitely nice. Okay, so again, I need to take 2 of the screws out closest to the lead screw on the X motor. Loosen the 3rd screw, just so. Okay, this is not out yet. I'll take them out. Maybe not. Just so I can twist the motor. There we go. I can twist the motor now. So I'm able to twist the motor inside, which makes the pulley go inside, and that will allow me to tighten the belt. So now I should be able to see the belt here. Okay. It looks like I cut off a lot of belt. Like I'm gonna have a lot of excess, but that's fine. Okay, so now this is fine. Now when that's pretty loose still. Okay. So you just need to find the right number of teeth to tighten, to throw in here. So this belt right here, the white one, is I think it's a plastic belt. It's this thing right here. I got a roll of it from AliExpress a while ago. So it's excuse me. It's plastic belt with steel reinforced like cable, I guess, inside there, or some wire basically. So it's very rigid. It was very cheap actually. So, all right, here we go. I'll post a link to it on Discord, Gossamer or Dustin. So, okay, so now I can already feel when I I already have the belt in place. When I move the motor back to its position, that belt is, kind of like a guitar string. Pretty good. So let me take care of that first. Let's tighten the motor, and then I'll cut off the excess belt, and that will be it for that. Have you compared with the fiber ones? I haven't used the fiber ones. I used to use I might still have it here. Probably already threw it out, but I had a GT2, like a black rubberized belt, and I guess over time it definitely stretched out, so I didn't like it. Yeah, I definitely haven't tried anything else other than this, and I mean I like this one definitely. So no real need for me to look at any other belts right now. But I think I mean I'm sure Zombu has probably tried every single belt there is. So oh, you look at the cube cases on my desk. Yes, I like I said before, I was something just snapped here a little bit in place. Maybe I'm not as taut as I thought I was. Okay, well, there's always an adjustment on this side and on the other side over there, so that should be fine. And we'll probably need to take care of that anyway. But all right. So anyway, I've been working on the version 2 of the cube. Like what you see on my desk here is basically the old version, Cube 1. I've been working on Cube 2, which is trying to make it a stackable sensor platform. And I just got the boards for another module for the Cube 2, but this is kind of like what I was talking about before, where one thing leads to the next thing and you forget what you did, what you started doing, and why. Well, I've started fixing my 3D printer so I could print more prototype cube cases, and then the 3D printing hobby took over again. So here I am rebuilding my 3D printer because I wanted to have a working printer for the cube cases. I already have one working printer, and now I'm rebuilding a second one. So that's just the way it goes. Okay, why is... You know what? It's late, and I'm using the wrong Allen key. I was wondering why this thing wasn't turning at all. In my defense, it's 1:35 a.m. and I am a little bit tired. So, lost the screw. I'm pretty sure I'm using the right size now, but yeah, there it is. Oh, cool! Thanks, Rob. Post the link for Posted the link for the white steel reinforced belts on Discord. So they're there now for anyone else looking. Okay, and I need to find the other screw that I just dropped. There it is. Okay. Okay, here you go. Okay, so if I have this right, yep, looks pretty good. Belts, I probably want it a little bit tighter, but the good news is I have a little adjustment on this side. I can tighten these two screws, and that will expand the axis a little bit more. And it looks like I need to do that anyway, because the lead screws are kind of caved in a little bit. So actually, let's try that right now. Let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, again, wrong size. Okay, yeah, I can already see it kind of tighten up. So yeah, there's a way to tighten the belt. Although there's a way to do this right and a way to overdo it. So I may have overdone it. So alright, I'm not gonna worry about this too much again right now. Okay, so we got the belt on. We tighten the belt. Now I need to get rid of the excess here again. So this is gonna be fun because I need to cut it pretty close to the thing here. Alright. Alright, cool. That was surprisingly quicker than I thought. Calipers for x-axis offset. Absolutely. 1 second. Let's see. You're talking about the offset between the smooth rods, Dustin? X-axis bars. Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah. Well, this way. So inside, try and make sure I get the right measurement here. .37 millimeters, and then, well, yeah, 37 millimeters, which is, I guess, yeah, with the what's it called? With the smooth rods, it's probably a 40 millimeter center point to center point. So, oh no, never mind. What am I looking at? It's an 8 millimeter rod, right? So 44? No, 45. Yeah, 45, right? Because it's 8, 37 plus 8. So yeah, 37 millimeters. So do you think that will that's the same on your A-net? Because if it is, then you could definitely run this setup on your printer. Rob, you were looking at my soldering iron T100. No, so this one is just a what's it called? Yihua 853D. It's a soldering station with a soldering station and a heat gun. I did get a TS80, I think. I got a TS80 here somewhere. I got it. They had a nice deal going on over Christmas, so I bought one for myself, and I've used it a couple times. I like it. I just don't need, you know. I bought it really for my drone hobby, because you know, when you're flying a drone, like, you know, these little racing drones, they like to, you know, break apart when you crash them into the ground, or a wire will come loose or something. So I wanted to have a soldering iron handy to be able to take care of that. So yeah, so I like the TS 100 for that. I haven't used it yet for that, but I intend to. Okay. I guess my belt's pretty tight actually. Now that I try it, my white belt's not tight at all, and I think that's because the PLA Y-axis Y belt holder is pretty much almost disintegrated. So so that will be the next step in this one, in this printer, rebuilding the Y-axis. But here we are. We're at the point where I think we can just some tension screws. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're at that point. We go back to the extruder assembly and start putting on the extruder. So we'll see how far I get with that. Looks like I still have a little bit of overprint left there. Yep. Cool. We got a little bit of time still. So, alright, so now I'm going to twist this thing around again, and I am going to take my extruder and lay it on the bed, split the wires apart, split the cables out. Cool. 38 millimeters on the clone. 38. That's not right. That can't be right. They can't. They couldn't have done that just to just to keep you from using it. Maybe I was off on my measurement. Let's try that again. There's not really a good place for me to do this, but you know what? Actually, make sure I zero it out. If I do it bolt to bolt here, yeah, it's dead on 45 millimeters from center to center of the smooth rod. So, yeah, you could. I guess you could adjust. Yeah, you could adjust the STL, but it would. You know, if you're 38 millimeters, but you know, inside, that means your center to center spacing is 46 millimeters, and that just seems like odd. Seems like, I don't know why. You know, I mean, the only reason they would do that is to prevent you from using Prusa parts, but you know. Okay, so the next step here is for me to see. Guide the cables and let me see. Transition you guys to this view real quick. You know what? I mean, I don't know why they would need like ANET. I don't think they would need to avoid losses because you know the whole point of Prusa, like Joe Prusa is probably the, you know, I mean obviously he's the face of Prusa, but he's also like one of the biggest proponents of open source. And I remember that like from way back where you know was it MakerBot? I think MakerBot was going closed source. And like MakerBot started out as an open source company, and they went basically closed source. And Joe Prusa was one of the biggest, you know, loudest voices out there saying like, you know, like you guys basically um, built your company on the backs of people, you know, working for the open source movement, and you know, like doing all this work to design these printers, and now you're gonna go closed source. So I think, I mean, he's definitely been always open, and you know, biggest proponent of open source in the 3D printing industry. So I think I don't think ANET would have had any issues with him, or you know, with Prusa. Because I mean, there's all of the ANETs, the Enders, the Crowd, you know, the what's, you know, all the other brands out there that I can't think of right now. So many of them are basically Prusa i3 clones, you know. What's zip tied on? The oh, you mean the linear bearings? Yes, they are zip tied on. Yep. Okay, so where am I? Cables from the pin to probe, the extruder motor. That's not what I'm looking at. And both fans. Right. Okay. Must pass the axis between the lower smooth line and okay. So pin to probe, both fans. That's my fan here and the extruder motor. Yep, that's right. So these 4 cables here go over the rod. Bearings, yeah, okay. That will wiggle at least half a millimeter, definitely. Yeah, you're right. That will definitely work. Okay, so got cables arranged. Separation. Guide cables from the extruder as in the picture. So yeah, so there's a pin here where the cables need to go through. An opening here for that. Okay. And then oh wow, yeah, I forgot to put the screws in already. So yeah, so let me prep that. I need to use a M3x40. I'm gonna need an M3x40. I don't have one here. Okay, M3x40, M3x30. M330 and M318, which I already have on the desk. And the yellow one, okay. Cool. M318. And then the bolt I already had here, which is an M340 with a nut in it. Okay. Nut in the trap. Thought I already had one in there, but maybe not. Nope. Wow, as my CR10 bed is so crappy, I can't print ABS, but I got the new Eson ABS Pro Plus chain orange filament from Hobby King. It's supposed to be shrink free and stick to bed at 40C. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you something that like over the years I've printed a little bit of ABS. You know, obviously mostly for printer parts, but I am not a fan of it anymore. I'm over it. It's just like, you know, the smell of it and the just the it's, you know, it's pretty nasty stuff. So and definitely like the curling and all that stuff. This thing's not going in there. But I think PETG kind of replaced the need for ABS for me. Like there's no need for ABS anymore. So I mean, yeah, it's, you know, it's good that they have like other options for it now, like, you know, the quality ABS or like the pro stuff that you mentioned, but I just don't know if I ever want to deal with it anymore. Okay, and then so this is gonna fall out probably, but in 3x40 goes on top here, and 3x30 goes on the right here, and 318 goes on the left. So yeah, so Rob, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, have you given PTG a try yet? Like, I think I like PTG for printed parts. Like, in fact, this extruder right here is printing PTG. On the other clone, it's an ABS. Is it? Yeah, I have an ABS. I still have ABS on that clone, but I'm gonna try this PTG and see how it works over time. PTG gets pretty high in temperature, and you know, it's almost as good as ABS, I think. Alright, so now we should be able to snap this into place. See if I can't. Keep it in place. Oh, yeah, I need to worry about this stuff a little bit. Yeah, I just want to hold it in place with one of these bolts and make sure I catch the other ones. Seem to be. Oh, there we go. Okay, close enough. I just need to get this in. Now I will print PTG on 75C. Really? Because I use 70C for 70 Celsius for my PTG for on my printer. Like I've never had any problems with it. Okay. This stuff. Okay. This is supposed to go through here. There we go. Okay. Cool. Yeah, the stuff, you know, like, I mean, ABS is starting to give me headaches. I was like, all right, that's enough. I'm not printing this stuff anymore. Okay, and I needed that nut for the M3 bolt. Yep, that's good. Looks good to me. Yeah. Yeah, my PTG, like I can't remember what my bed setting is, but with the PEI, PEI can actually make PETG stick too well. Like it will actually fuse to the bed if you're not careful. If you smoosh it too much. So so for PETG, Rob, I use Eson, definitely. Eson from Amazon is my favorite. This stuff is Eson Orange from Amazon. Um, it sticks really well to PEI. Once I figure out the retraction settings, because like that's you know that's probably the biggest issue with PTG. It strings like crazy. But I used I think I used like only 2 millimeters. In the long run, I basically ended up using 2 millimeters of extraction, retraction. So that that worked really well for it to stop, you know, stop stringing, or at least not stop, but not string as much. The only other thing is I don't use a fan on my PETG prints. I turn the fan off for those because it's if you use a fan, it's supposed to look nicer, but it loses its structural integrity a little bit. I think it's worse at you know the structure. Okay, so first tighten the top screw. So now I'm tightening the extruder in place. I figured I'd print the ABS in the shower. In the shower? What do you mean in the shower? Like put the printer in the shower? I'm trying to think what you're thinking of doing. Bigger screen. Sure, David. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just putting the extruder on the x-axis, and I will have that done soon. Let's see. Okay, we got the first screw tightened. Tighten the left screw, making sure that the wires are in correctly in their okay. And then tighten right screw. I'm sorry guys, I've been coughing up every few minutes, and I hope that's not coming through on the stream too loudly, but yep, still getting over a cold, so hope it's not too annoying. But hey, the good news is I can't get you sick over a live stream. For the fumes, yeah, but like, I mean, what are you gonna do what are you gonna do with if you have a exhaust fan or something in the shower? I think I mean I want to build like an exhaust fan for this space too, because even though I don't print ABS anymore, yeah, and PLA is supposed to be super healthy because it's made from milk or something like that, right? Or whatever whatever people are saying. I don't necessarily want to be here like all the time with the printer printing, right? Because like there's always a danger of 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 it emitting some sort of nasty stuff. Okay, so just making sure that my extruder's on. There's always going to be a little bit of play with these smooth rods, but I just want to make sure that it's on tightly, at least here, as much as I can get it. So I'm gonna tighten it up a few more. I'm trying not to crack my parts either. So there's an art to this, right? One of my favorite YouTubers, Ave, would be doing one of these. Click. Yep. Built-in torque wrench. Cool. All right, so that's in, and I think now we can get to cable management. Which for that I need to start by putting this thermistor and hot end or heater cartridge wire in there. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Cable management right side. So insert zip tie. So I need to find the right zip tie because I think there's like the right size and the wrong size here. I'm not sure what I used on the other printer. See, this one might be it. This one's about what, like 120 millimeters. Yeah, more like 140. Nope, 150. Alright, so maybe it is 150. And the right side, so that the cables are in there. Okay, so think this is the right size. This is gonna go around like this. Yeah, this should be the right size. Yeah, and I basically just need to catch all the wires with this zip tie. So, let's try this. Need to catch the extruder, the hot end, the hot end. Wires in this. Okay. Maybe this is too big of a zip tie. Too thick at least. Or maybe I should have cleaned out that zip tie hole. Let's see if a shorter one will work, or a thinner one at least. No, that won't work. It's gonna be too short. Let's see if I have some over protection. Nope. I know I have the right zip ties somewhere. Give me 1 second. Right, so I found them. I had them in the network rack. So these are probably the same size or same length. Yeah, 150 millimeters, but they're much thinner. So this one will work fine. So you mentioned MGN12 rail for X-axis. So Mad Max over on our Discord server. Should check out the printer he posted a couple days ago. He built his excuse me. He built his own design basically of I guess based on MGN12, which to be honest, like I'm not sure what MGN12 is. I remember him mentioning MGN12 just as you did just now. And he used basically, he used rails for the entire printer, and it's a huge printer, and it's supposed to be really sturdy. He's basically just running through tests right now with it, but it says it's very sturdy, very high speed. So I read that if you replace the steel balls, wash out debris and grease, you get a smooth rail. Okay, so you must be talking about like the actual design of the rail. Is that like, what's MGN12? Is it like V-slot? Something like, I'm not too familiar with that stuff, so you're gonna have to educate me. Guided rails. Okay. Cool. Alright, so got the wire in there. Let me show you what I did here real quick. Now that I have it built and pretty neatly organized. So put a zip tie through the extruder here. Cut all the wires, and I'm making sure that they're all following the right path. So now basically, yeah, and then this is the little bolt that sticks out of the back of the extruder that you would use to hold the wires up, and then like the cable wrap will start from that point on. MG12 guide rails with carriage. Okay. Gotcha. It's kind of like I guess threaded rod too, right? So okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try building a a frame printer, like, or a frame for a printer from either that stuff or V-slot or something more rigid than just this frame and threaded rods, because this is an old design, right? This is Mark II of the Prusa printer, and even Prusa has switched over to V-slot for or extruded rods or extruded aluminum for their chassis in the Mark III. So definitely would be nice to try that out myself. Okay, definitely extruder cable holder. I don't know if I printed enough. I think I have a cable holder. It's not a very good one, but I did print one. So hopefully it works. Okay, zip ties. And I can use the smaller zip ties for these. Cool. Yeah. Let's try it this way first. Point up. I'm definitely losing my dexterity. It's getting pretty late. It's 2:14 a.m. right now. That printer I started that print 5 hours ago, so kind of expected to be up late, but I'm probably good for another couple of no, maybe another half an hour or so, and we'll probably end it before I can light this thing off today. But we'll see. Maybe we'll see how far I get. But maybe I'll if I don't get it lit off today, maybe we'll do another live stream tomorrow evening. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Nobody ever said building a 3D printer was easy. The Bear upgrade is all extruded aluminum, supposed to be very sturdy, and nowadays it even comes in crazy color. Yeah, I saw that thing. I mean, I definitely think it's a neat design. It's kind of like, I mean, it takes the best of the Mark III, right, and at a much better price. So I like it. maybe I'll convert one of these to that at some point. But usually, what actually happened with this printer is I had so many spare parts from it, and I had a printer, so I could print myself parts for a new printer, because that's the whole point of riprap, isn't it? And yeah, that's so. I think what's going to end up happening is I'll probably end up building a third printer at some point. I'm not at the level of Zambu yet, where he basically just, I think he's got like 14 or 15 printers at this point. Okay, so nylon filaments put 50 centimeters, both have 3 millimeters for step. Okay, so I need a 50 centimeter piece of nylon, which I'm actually using something else. I'm actually using this stuff. It's called T-glaze. It's very rigid, just like nylon, I guess. So it's good enough for me. It's good enough for this task. So 50 centimeters. Like it to be, what's that in inches? Why don't I have a metric ruler around here? 50 centimeters are like what, 20 inches? About good enough of a measurement, I think. My standards are lowering as the night progresses. In case you haven't realized. Yep, I'm dropping things now too. So, here we go. This is the piece that basically, and you know, it's very, very stringy, or very springy, right? It doesn't retain shape very well. So it's good because, you know, when you're attaching wires to it, it basically holds them in place. So as you know, as the extruder moves up and down, and this wire goes to the board, it will manage the wires nicely. It will keep them out of the way of the print area. Tallman T-glaze, that's right. Yeah, it's expensive stuff. I got like a roll of it, you know, years ago. And I had some problems printing with it. I did print a couple things with it. I'll show you like one of them. This is my twisted hex vase printed in that T-glaze stuff, and it's cool. It's kind of, you know, the colors are nice. It's almost transparent. So very nice light. But yeah, it was I guess I could probably try it again to see how see how this printer would print in it, or you know, I will try it again once I have it rebuilt. But definitely lots of stringing. It kind of feels like PTG, to be honest. It may just be PTG. Your light mount just finished printing. Awesome, cool. Yeah, I'm printing right now. I'm printing some parts for a project that maybe I'll make a video on it. It's like it's a set of rudder pedals for Flight Simulator. It's not my project. I found it on Thingiverse, but I think it's really, really cool. So I'm printing it right now. Okay, so you gotta push the filament in the hull here, but I need to make a little tip on it so it actually goes through that hole. I should be able to do this with the light now, maybe? No? Try and show you guys what I'm doing, and I don't have a really good way of doing that right now, unfortunately. Everything's kind of done from the back here, and if I found something to place the printer on, I could maybe do it a little easier. No. Well, don't you have to dry the tea glaze? Do I? I'm pretty bad about storing my filament, and maybe it's because I don't know. I mean, I'm here in the basement. We definitely have the dehumidifier on, basically all the time, so it doesn't get as humid in here as it might elsewhere. So it probably helps the filament a little bit more. You know, keep the filament drier longer. I don't know. I probably should pay attention to that stuff. Cali weather keeps everything dry. I'm sure it does. Yeah, we get, you know, here in the Philly area, or East Coast, I guess in general, we get this 1 week of, you know, what I call Cali weather. 1 week of nice, comfortable, you know, Southern California style, pretty trees and everything, and then all that turns into a muggy, hot mess. We get a week, so make the best of it. I'm really having a hard time with this filament, trying to get it. Basically, there's a hole on the extruder on the x-axis mount where I need to insert this into so that it holds it in place. And I'm kind of like working this filament down to a finger diameter so I can insert it further deeper into that hole. And basically, if it stays in place, it will keep all my wires in place. So definitely want that to be in there permanently. Oh no, yeah, no, I'm on the East Coast, Dustin. It's absolutely there we go. All right, we're in nicely. Um, we get that, like I said, we get that Cali weather for a week. Okay, so we're gonna point that up so that it keeps the wire harnesses up. Cool. All right, now cool. It is really late for me. It's 2:30 a.m. and for some reason I am not sleeping. That's, like I said, I started a print at 9 p.m. And I knew it was gonna be 5 hours. And I don't know, I just didn't think any better at the time. But yeah, I'm a little bit tired, and I'm waiting for this print to finish. But hey, while we're here, might as well get this printer built as much as I can. All right, so now I can get the spiral wrap and get this all prettied up. There we go. Alright, this is the stuff I'm going to be putting on over these wires. And probably need also just no more than 20 inches of it. Cool. So what did they tell me to do here? Wrap the spiral wrap around the cables in nylon filament. Start with cables from the upper part. After one turn, add cables from the hot end. Alright. Double check by moving the extruder forward to the left and right. Then spiral wrap design here with the printer frame. Use the ties and tighten the wrap cables. Right, the spiral up to the cable stiffener. Use one piece at the beginning of the spiral wrap. This text doesn't really make sense. I'm just trying to make sure that I get this in. Okay. Yeah. Right. So they really want me just to wrap it around the bolt here first, and use this stiffener nylon, or deep glaze in my case. One turn. Okay. And then bring in the thermistor and heater wires next. Come on. Stuff is fine once you get the first few. Uh-oh. You hear that sound? My favorite sound. It's the printer homing to the x-axis after a finished print. So guess what? That print just finished. Let's see how far I get along with this before I give up for the night. Alright, let's see. I need to just catch it with a zip tie and then keep going. Alright, close enough I think for now. Let's see. Yeah. Catch these with a zip tie here. Cool. Alright. And now I can start basically going down the down the length of the wire. But actually I need to do this way. Let's do it this way. think we're gonna break it off after this, so I'm gonna I'll basically wrap this thing around here, and we'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. How about that? Or definitely would like to show you guys what I'm doing with the wires at the end of this string, and then yeah, I'd like to show you, I mean, the finished product basically once we get this thing lit off and hopefully extruding, because this extruder, like I said, was built for, really originally was built for a 1.75 millimeter filament. I'm using it with a 3 millimeter filament, so hopefully the motor can handle that. We'll see. So if not, I'll have to switch back to 1.75 millimeters and just use that from now on. Let me grab one more zip tie here. Cool. Turn off the other printer. Just to show you what I've been printing, this is from the other printer, and yeah, just all these little bits and pieces for those water pedals for that project. So I'll definitely be making some videos on that stuff when I get all the parts in place and all the parts printed. But yeah, I definitely love how, love the quality of the other printer. So wait, if you print your i3 parts and PTG without drying or parts cooling fan, your print's really okay. Okay, yeah, that's right. I mean, we'll be good. I'm gonna break it off here. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for keeping me company and actually motivating me to work on this stuff, because I was probably gonna break off and do something else if not for you guys keeping me honest here. So that's great. We got pretty far along. I didn't expect to get this far tonight. So we got the X-axis built, extruder on, fully completed and built and on. All that's left to do is basically wire this stuff up to the ramps and light it off and see what happens. So we'll take care of that tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are on Discord. We'll set something up and we'll try again tomorrow. So thanks again for hanging out, and thanks for watching my channel and hanging out with me. This is BK Hobby. Take care.